Broads Media.
Oh my God! The Mets suck ass! The Mets blow cock! The Mets suck ass! The Mets blow cock! Oh, it's always so good beating that squad, especially up in Citi Field. When the bases are loaded and here's the Mets screwing up because they always do. Boo! Boo! Sorry, my alarm's going off. Boo! They're fans. Oh, morons. People spent money to actually go to the ballpark. People thought that the Mets would actually win. They used their hard-earned cash to sit down in those chairs, buy food, buy drinks, thinking their baseball team could win. They don't win. Losers. Everyone up there. Losers. Oh, what a win, huh? Phew. Phew. Got a little scary. Got a little hairy. Got a little nervous. Seriously. Luzardo. What are we doing in the fourth and the fifth? Oh, what are we doing? Kirkeren, what are we doing? Thank you, Kyle Schwarber. I don't know where I'd be in life emotionally if it wasn't for that man. Dude, another ding-dong. He's got 30 on the season. It's not even July. We're talking about late June. It's technically just started summer. Technically. Summer just got into action. And this dude's hitting his 30th moonshot of the year when we needed some clutch balls. In fact, you want to hear it? Here's the call from Tom McCarthy. Holy hell.
Fly ball, right center field. Going back on it is Ewing. Back toward the track, to the wall. It is gone! Two-run home run, Schwarber. He's given the Phillies the lead. He's the first to 30 home runs this year, and he's the fastest Philly to 30 home runs of this season. It's a 5-4 game.
Now, talk about clutch. I mean, he tried to sneak a piece of cheese.
Now, we love when people try and sneak some pieces of cheese, don't we, Rube? I didn't love everything. All right, let's hold on, bro. Those first 2.5 minutes were chaos. Take a deep breath. One more. They didn't pound the Mets as badly as I thought they should have. Game 1, you somehow stole that victory because of Derek Hill again. And this time, it's with his leather. You got Zach Wheeler after the game praising Derek Hill for being a damn star. What a ridiculous catch. That was insane. My pants fell off the second I saw it for no reason. You know, I was just standing there and I was in disbelief. I was in awe. My clothes just completely fell off because it was insane. It was unbelievable. And, you know, you're kind of stealing a win out in Citi Field because of that. Saturday got away from you. We had to deal with some more Bryce Harper base running stuff. He stated after the game it was because of the misplay and the falling down in the outfield. And as much as I want to give Bryce a lot of, I'll be harsh. I'll be harsh and I'll criticize and I'll critique when needed. And I'm definitely not afraid to do it to Bryce, even though a lot of people in town are. I'll actually side with him, and I understand when you see someone fall like that, that's not the traditional Bryce trying to stretch a single to a double. And the game got away from the Phils, and that's why sort of that becomes a representation point of the ball game. But look, there's a number one rule when you face the Mets. You can't lose to the Mets. You can't drop 2 out of 3 from the Mets, no matter what. So I don't care if it's hideous, if it's ugly, if it's tighter than it should be. I need the result when you face this squad because this team sucks. Dude, you can't make up how piss poor the Mets are. Whether it's them firing their manager, having no life after, right? They just lost a series after they fired their manager. That's literally 101 when you show up and have some urgency. Look at what happened to the Phillies. You fire your manager, you're 9-19. You play like your damn hair is on fire, and you change the trajectory of your season. Now, it's way too late for the Mets, but still, there could have been some little spurt. Instead, here they are, losing a game 2-1. Here they are, having bases loaded multiple times in the game. Doing diddly dick with it, doing nothing, not being able to complete the job with some rough at-bats against Kirkering to get out of that inning in the 8th. It's crazy. I mean, it's flat out ludicrous. They're terrible. When they have their broadcast, and it was going viral for a reason, explaining the big franchise move of deciding to can the manager, Mr. Met is throwing money like he's dancing with hoes at the damn strip club, and he's shaking his breasts. He's doing a little dance. He's doing whatever it is stupidly behind it. You can't make this stuff up. They are just discombobulated from top to bottom. The question I had about the National Series and the Mets series is this, and I've had a very difficult time coming up with my answer over the last, I would say, 2 days or so. What we're watching right now, the crazy 9th inning comebacks, is that a product of the Nationals bullpen and the Mets being the Mets? Or is this a product of the Phillies actually being a force? And it probably is, if we're being fair and objective, a variation of both, right? The Phillies are playing better, and at the same time, these opponents are inept. The Nationals bullpen is one of the most egregious assembled bullpens ever. And the Mets are one of the worst franchises ever. They remind me of that right there. Instead of a burp, though, it's legitimate vomit. It is actual throw up. That's what they are. So, I can make the argument, this game that happened today on Sunday afternoon, the Phillies didn't really deserve to win that game, but when you play an incompetent franchise, you're going to put together wins. They earned the win on Friday because when you have an outfielder robbing people of that. But then I guess you can make the argument, like, what are the odds you're going to have someone do a Spider-Man crawl up the wall? He didn't even do that. It was just an unbelievable leap. But that is so out of this world, holy shit, mind-blowing. And same with those 9th inning comebacks because of how bad the Nats are. It's just not sustainable. And I keep going back to that. And they keep doing it, though. So maybe it is sustainable, or it's the product of your environment, which is you're playing very disgusting baseball teams. And I'm not trying to knock the Phillies, because when you're 9-19 and then you look at the standings and you're a handful of games back of the Atlanta Braves before July even hits, then you're doing something as well, right? This isn't just a 2-series sample size. They have clearly became a different group since Mattingly took over. But I'm just curious. That's all, because there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of good feelings right now, and it's a combination of both. But if I needed to choose one or the other, I think the last 2 series really describes the opponent more than the Phillies. Just the last 2 series. The Nationals bullpen is the story of how you even allow 15 runs in the 9th. Over a consecutive game stretch, and failing to close the door with a lead and having 1 out to go or 1 strike to go. When it happens to that level, something ain't right, But I'm not trying to put them down. They're winning games. They're winning games, and sometimes the name of the game is just like compile them up. If that's kind of what I'm looking for, stash wins together. Just put a good amount of wins together. Sometimes there's so many damn games that, hey, you win 3-2, nothing really important happened, you got the win, you move to the next game. Well, sometimes with these series, sure, there was things that felt it was baloney in the Nats series, and you could never think of another series to play out that way ever, and it was bonkers. But when you look at the total package from Mattingly's takeover to now, they've just strung so much together that you try and look at it from that view to appreciate the Phils? Does this all make sense? Or am I speaking like a complete jabroni? I don't know. Speaking of the change at manager and Rob Thompson being fired and the life that was generated since then, interesting stuff from the Mets broadcast about maybe a team meeting that went down with the Phils and how they were able to dig deep, look deep, and flip the script. Take a listen.
Exactly what the Mets are going through today, earlier this season, with the firing of very popular manager in Rob Thompson. And, they've taken off since. I went over to the Phillies side and I spoke with Brandon Marsh and just asked him what happened? What is the difference when you do get a spark from a managerial change? And what he said to me is a nice diving stop there by Beatty to keep it on the infield, but no play. What he said was that when that happened, it was almost as if it felt like the players got smacked in the face. That, they loved Rob Thompson, and it wasn't his fault, and it just kind of woke them up. And he said that they then had a meeting with Don Mattingly, and Mattingly said to the group, listen, I am sick and tired of hearing nobody yelling in the dugout, no conversation in the clubhouse. I don't care who you are, what your name is. I need guys that are going to fight for me innings 1 through 9. And for Marsh, and he said for everybody else, it just really snapped them back into focus, fired them up, and they kind of decided to start playing with their hair on fire again, not worrying about things. They said, we lost 11 in a row. Who cares? Now, if we just play, let it all out, we'll lose 12 in a row, worst case scenario. And ever since then, it's changed the whole vibe over there, and they have taken off and gone on a run where now they're well in striking distance of the division.
That's a pretty damn cool story, and it actually goes hand in hand with what I've been saying about this team for maybe the last week or so. It feels like a team. It feels like a team. And Don Mattingly is expressing, as he finally gets into that uniform as the bench boss, he's going, yo, fucking fight for me. Let's fucking go. Play the way you know you're capable of playing and fight for me. Now, I don't know if it was with that tone or not. I don't know. Some of these baseball guys, it could be, fight for me. Hey, guys, you want to fight for me? Thanks, man. Let's fight for me. I don't know. These monotone, it's a long journey people, sometimes they do that. But in my head, it's, come on, fellas. Look me in the eyes. Let's go to war. And now I'm watching Bryce Harper in the dugout speaking to Brandon Marsh. And then Brandon Marsh steps up to the plate and does some dirty work. I'm watching this team form an identity as an entire unit. And I'm not telling you Trey Turner is now ripping the cover off the ball, or guys who were struggling are now automatically this superstar talent. But when I watch them play, it seems there is a direction of every single person. And it didn't feel that way to me before. Trey was internalizing his struggles. Bryce was internalizing his frustration with Dave Dombrowski. Bohm was internalizing his frustration. The list goes on and on and on. Stott was trying to prove that he could bat against lefties. Marsh wanted to prove that he could bat against lefties and be a full-time player. It just felt individual. And now it almost comes full circle because, now I'm not telling you from day one, I felt the team aspect from this group. Day one of Don Mattingly. But he definitely expressed his opinion on what they needed to do, or expressed his message, I should say. And it marinated, and it took some time. But as they continued to go to work and hit the ballpark and, just play games, it shifted, and it organically became what Mattingly was looking for.